Alright, so I just got this all apart. I'm not sure if this is the primary or the secondary pulley, but nevertheless, the bearings got chewed up. The seal is all damaged. The inside's damaged. Look at all the pitting. And also, look at this. Yep. So this whole unit's going to have to be replaced. I actually pulled it off with these guys here. And I actually just kind of got up under the little lip here and pulled the whole thing off. And the nut here, if you don't have, this is a 55 millimeters nut. I got a socket for it here. Got it for like $18 online. But if you don't have one of these, I took a hammer and a chisel and just kind of hit this nut, and it actually came loose pretty free. You can see the marks right there on the corner where I kind of tapped it on it. But yeah, now I need some new parts. Oh boy. There's the bearing, and it's in good shape, and everything else is in good shape. But this is probably what my problem was here in the CVT. Alright, so we got our brand new pulley primary variator set up, and this was less than $200, nicely packaged and sent, and it even has plastic around it. So there it is, and check this out. Yeah, you can move that really easy. And what's really cool is if I turn it this way, get the plastic out of the way. See that? That's how these things work, up to 1,000 psi. And watch this. Put my finger there and it stays. Look at that. Now I'll take my finger out of the hole. Good pressure. Good seal. Completely rebuilt with a warranty on eBay. So a lot of guys are sourcing these out, which makes life a lot easier if you're rebuilding these. So just want to show you that. Now I gotta look at this secondary pulley and see if it's okay or not. But obviously you saw how bad the other one was. Cool. I can actually feel the air. I'm gonna try that again. I can actually feel the air hitting my face when I do that, coming out of here, and I can hear it. Hear it? Cool. Wow, almost 1,000 psi. Squishing that together. Uh-oh, there's thunder. Alright, so don't hate me. I'm doing the secondary pulley system, and of course I don't have a 40 millimeter socket. I can get one, but it's going to take about a week or two. And it's coming from the UK. It's a 40 millimeter deep well regular socket with a 1/2 inch drive. A lot of them are 3/4 inch drives, which I don't have a 3/4 inch drive adapter. So, but anyway, I used just a pipe wrench and took a hammer and hit it a couple times. I got it kind of clamped in the vise there with a piece of wood. Not a lot of pressure on, just enough to loosen this up, and there it is. Didn't even hurt the threads or anything on the nut, and you can see it's in good shape. Very fine thread, so you got to be careful. So let me put this back on. So what I want to do now is go ahead and start getting a couple other things here off. I might go ahead and take this clip out of here and eventually get my puller and go ahead and get this bearing and stuff off. But yeah, I'm just using my puller. Yeah, I'm just using my press here just to do it. Basic stuff. But you probably have fancier tools anyway. Alright, things you gotta do. See all those? Those are all broken. I broke one. And I thought, well, that ain't gonna work. Then I had to fix it. And I had to fix it with a different guy there. It's off, and one of my little nuts come off here. But you know what? We got it. Waiting for the added impact. I wouldn't be able to get it. You can get these impacts, these electric ones, on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, for about 50 bucks. So there it is. You gotta be careful. There's a spring down there. I don't think it's going to come off. So there's that. And you got this center washer support that goes in the middle, so we'll get that back in there, and I think that's it. And this piece here that has a clip right here, if I take that off, I can take that off, this whole piece here off. There's a seal right here. I want to see if it's damaged. Eventually we've got to pull this variator off of here and check the bearings and stuff in there. So I'm going to go ahead and get this out, but I'm glad I got all that out. Yay! Alright, well, getting that off was fairly easy. When this was really close together, I just took a piece of wood and hammered it in here and tapped on it until it spreaded this. Then I used this piece of wood here and pushed it in there and got it all the way out. Off. Look at that. Got it completely apart almost. Of course, there's a washer. There's like a... Let me take this off here real quick. You got this washer right here. So just leave this on, this nut on, because this thing might go flying, but it just slowly tapped off, and that was it. Now all I got to do is get, this goes on the bottom, very last washer here. Stick that over there, and what I do, I'll take a little bit of fingernail polish and I'll put a dot on that washer there. I think you can see it, just so I know. Kind of goes up, and put it over here with the rest of the stuff. So, anyway, it's off. Let's take this rest of the way off. There went a bunch of bearings, and I knew better. I knew they were going to roll out, so I'm hoping this is still good, so I don't have to buy it. But it's either got 3 or 4 balls in each section, so I'm going to have to hunt up some bearings here that rolled out, which I knew better, and we'll look at this, and it looks like it's in good shape. Alright, we'll come back here and we gather up all the ball bearings that rolled everywhere. Alright, so I have to separate this, and there's a spring in here pushing this piece up, but there's a snap ring right here I've got to take out. I wanted to show you, there's a little pressure on it. I can stand on it, and you can see it move a little bit. See? So really, I need to set it up in the press. Get a big piece of PVC pipe, push down a little bit, take the snap ring out, and take this off, because there's a O-ring in here, a seal that I have to check. But everything here so far is checking out really good. I'm surprised. The other piece was what was really bad. I did get all my bearings, and there's 3 bearings on each of these. This area here, there's 3 here, 3 there, and 3 there. And that allows this piece to go whoop, 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 up and down on that. So anyway, let's get it on the press. Alright, it's about almost 97 degrees out here today. Hopefully the heat isn't affecting my judgment, but here is my humble setup. Now, I got some things here kind of pushing this down. Now, you just want to push this down just enough to release this clip. And I can tell you right now, you're not getting this clip out unless you have something really sharp that will grab onto this clip and push it back. I tried for 25 minutes, 30 minutes, couldn't get it to come out of there to grip it. So I took a Dremel tool and just cut a little slice on the top so I could get a little screwdriver right there on that, just enough to push it back. when it was in here, so I can get a secondary screwdriver in behind here. Because if you don't do that, good luck. Maybe you'll get it, maybe you won't, but I think you'll be like wasting your time. So just a little cut mark right there. And you can see they got little places there for you to put a screwdriver behind it. But the challenge is getting this spring, oh not spring, this clip, big C clamp. I think the heat is affecting me. This big old clip, the behind here, you see how it's kind of cut there a little bit? It's almost impossible to get something in behind there. So anyway, I got it out, and don't try to take this out unless you got this compressed a little bit. You know, just use a regular, you know, kind of like I got here, 20-ton press, something cheap. And if you got a heavy buddy, he could probably just stand on this and push it down far enough and get this out. Of course, I'm joking. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and release this. The spring will come out. We'll check the seal in there, but that's how I did that. So hey, don't hate me. All right, so I got all this released, and I wanted to show you this big old spring. That was my setup. Here's the pistons, and I'm actually the pistons back here. And there is the spring. So yeah, you don't want this thing to fly off. So make sure you have this compressed before you do any more work. Okay? All right. Let me go over and clean this up. And here is the guy that saved me. Just a little cutting wheel. Get in there and make a little mark on that clip. Alright, she's slowly going back together. Got my little check balls in there. There's 4 in each slot. And my snap ring, it's back in there, and you can see it now kind of moves up and down. It's pretty amazing when you put the belt on here, just how much of a gap. This thing doesn't have to move a whole lot to change the see, you only have to go so far, and it moves out about a ½ inch, and this belt goes all the way down to the bottom like that. See, it doesn't have to go far at all. So this piston here, this ring, doesn't have to move very far to squish this. But anyway, that's in, and there is my bucket. Use a bucket when you're taking these apart. Trust me, your check balls are going to roll everywhere. But that is that. We're getting it together slowly. So really, all we have to do at this point is go ahead and start cleaning up some things here. And once I get a few things here taken care of, basically putting the spring back on, and there is the old piston. Checked the seal, measured it. It's like new condition. The thing that really gets all the hammering was the other pulley that I had to buy. That's when it gets really beat up pretty bad. But everything here is in excellent condition, and I've had this off and cleaned it. So, and when you put this in here, you can actually hear it making some swishing noise. Once I get it kind of set in here a little bit, and it actually, I go up with it. There we go. There we go. Push it up a little bit. There we go. Once that's in there, you can hear that. So the piston is working really good. It's got some good suction there. That's what we want. So I guess we'll go ahead and press this back into the press and put the spring on and all that. And wasn't as hard to take apart as I thought it was if you have a little bit of ingenuity and all that. So yeah. So you can, it stops there because there's a ring in there. Pretty cool. Alright, well, go ahead and press this all back together. So, you know, nothing special here, I guess. Just putting everything back together slowly. And there we are, my friends. A secondary pulley put together. Wasn't too bad. I actually used a piece of flange pipe. Stuck it on here. And I had a couple other pieces and a piece of wood. And I kind of pushed the the balance shaft here on a couple times and off. Just kind of worked it. Make sure I kind of practiced just to make sure I can get it on there without tearing the seal. And once I got it on there, this ring, this clip, it is a very tight fit. So if you have trouble getting it on, you might have to push down on this just a little bit more. But it's in there. And then I pushed on the bearing, which has a sort of a spacer below it. That's how it came apart. Then the bearing, then your gear, and your nut. And I made sure that the nut goes down exactly where it should. And there's the top of the little stake mark, and that's exactly the same height. So I know exactly that's how it goes. I'm gonna put this back in the vise here a little bit and take my pipe wrench and tighten it down until it's right where it should be, and we'll be done. So I'm pretty happy there. All that. So I didn't film that. That was kind of, you know, boring. But there's a lot of videos online on how to do that.